My end goal in any activity is not to fail, but I understand that failure is a large part of success and it's bound to happen to anyone at any time. Most people may freak out and worry about failing, but that takes the focus off of their goal, and instead they should take that energy and that mindset and change it to whatever happens happens. So you should adapt to the situation rather than panic. My biggest motivation in most scenarios is failure. So allow me to help you better understand failure and how it can motivate you as well. A lot of times failure is looked at as negative, and we give it meaning on our own as individuals, but the Webster Dictionary shows two definitions for failure: lack of success, and the other being a falling short. I find both to have a little bit different meanings, but everybody will. And I believe that you only actually fail to succeed when you stop at that failure. If you give up when you fail, then that's considered like your end all failure. But those who reach their idea of success have turned that failure into motivation to work harder toward their success. They look at it as a challenge. They evaluate what to do in that given situation rather than just look at it as everything went wrong. And if it happens again, it doesn't mean you've failed again. As long as you haven't given up, you haven't failed. Failure is where you can learn, and it's just overall a good lesson. Now, for example, my motivation today for writing the speech and being here was partially due to failure, because I'm afraid to fail the class and just overall all of my classes. So that pushes me to do what I need to do. Fear can have its negative aspects for it, but it can also make you have higher goals and work harder for what you want. But it's best to take the aspect of fear out and understand that if you fail or if you don't do quite as well as you wanted to, that it's not the end. Don't take your eye off of the end goal, basically. As long as you continue to strive for that end goal, then you're not gonna fail. For like today, I looked at my previous speeches and even in this class and before then as what I did poorly on, and I took that and reshaped it to fix those problems as I continue to do better with everything else that I did well on before. It's a never-ending cycle, really, of learning and then adapting to change. And within a goal, you're more likely to fail more than you are to succeed, but only in the sense of hitting roadblocks and not in the overall sense. But success is like the end destination, while failure is, like I said, the roadblocks along the way. It's more of a detour than anything. And for an example, again, my dad, when he had completed college, he had immediately went out and applied to a bunch of different places. And he said that his rejection letter of everywhere that he applied was so much higher than the places that actually wanted him to come work for them. And I've definitely kept that in my mind because I've applied at a bunch of different places and keep getting rejected. But he also took that information and he didn't just focus on all those places that he didn't get accepted into. He looked through the ones that he made it into or that wanted to have him work for them, and he took their offer, which actually became a really good thing because he worked for them for over 35 years. I guess what I'm saying is that failure is much more common than success, but it's just how you look at things. And you can choose to focus on all the negative of it, or you can take the failures and push it towards your success. But so there's only one goal and there's a bunch of hurdles. The only thing that matters is that you reach that end goal. And it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there, and it doesn't necessarily matter how you did it, as long as you keep going, as long as you strive for it and you continue to focus on it. If you fail, it just means that something needs a little bit of a change. But if you continue to succeed, keep doing what you're doing. Maybe don't change everything entirely, but tweak it just a bit so that it can be even better. And failure is only a minor setback. Even fear of failure can take a minute to understand, but as long as you just keep your eye on that goal and realize that failure is not what people make it out to be, then you'll be able to meet your goal and exceed further in life.